This is a video discussion made for the Central Minnesota Weather Blog. In this discussion, I will be going over the major weather pattern change that is currently underway and how it will affect the central and southern Minnesota region over the next 2 weeks. In this image, the blue line represents the jet stream position for the month of December and the beginning of January. This is an approximation position, as it does change before and after storms. This has been the dominant position and is responsible for bringing all of the Arctic air and snowy weather to the region. For the past month and a half, the southern and northern jet streams have been phased together, bringing an active month of cold and snowy weather. This is about to change, and the change has actually already begun. As you saw in the previous image, the two jet streams were phased together to produce one powerhouse jet stream. The pattern change that is underway involves the two jets splitting apart into two separate jets. The blue line represents the northern jet stream, the jet responsible for the cold air, while the southern jet is responsible for the moist air, as represented by the green line. With these two streams remaining separate, there's no chance of a big storm or cold Arctic air blast to occur. These must be phased together for that to occur. As a result, warm Pacific air will be allowed to flow freely into the United States, bringing a much welcomed warm-up to almost the entire lower 48. This is a typical El Nino weather pattern, unlike the pattern we have been experiencing. The warm temperatures will be moving over an extensive area of snow cover, as seen in this image. Nearly everywhere north of a line, from central Montana to northeastern Oklahoma into northern Mississippi and northern Georgia into the northeastern United States, has at least a coating of snow on the ground, and in some areas considerably more. This will cause the mild air mass to become modified as it moves eastward and cool off considerably. This will reduce the chances of seeing considerably warmer temperatures, so instead of seeing 40s and 50s, we will be seeing high 20s and low to mid 30s, with some upper 30s possible. This will also be the reason locally dense fog and drizzle develops over the next few days. There will be local hazards with this warm-up, but since we're dealing with a major air mass change and not a storm, the hazards will be somewhat limited. The first hazard is the potential for ice jams. Ice jams form when warm weather causes snow to melt or rain to fall, thereby dumping more water into area streams and rivers. This causes rivers to fluctuate, and in some cases, extreme fluctuations occur. When this happens, the ice on the surface of the rivers break apart and jam together, causing a buildup of water behind them. The threat for ice jams will be very minimal with this pattern change, as temperatures will remain within marginal freezing levels, ruling out large amounts of water being dumped into area rivers. The second hazard with this warm-up is icy roads due to several things. The first being melting and refreezing of water on the roads. During the day, temperatures will warm into the mid-30s, but at night will fall back into the lower 20s and upper teens. This will freeze any melted snow on the roads. There will also be periods of fog, possibly dense at times, which could freeze to surfaces that are at or below freezing. Same goes for freezing drizzle. Along with fog comes low visibilities as well, so be sure to drive carefully if you encounter dense fog at any point during these next few days. Though we will have a decent January thaw, the thaw will not last long. In the long range, there are indications that we will slip back into a cold and stormy weather pattern. The image shown here is what is called the AO index, the Arctic Oscillation Index. In the past, whenever the AO index goes negative, a cold and stormy pattern is taking shape, and when the index is positive, the weather is more mild and dry. Here you can see by the black solid line that back in December and early January, the index was well below the zero line, as shown by the dashed dotted line, black dotted line. We did indeed have very cold temperatures, along with a few major snowstorms when this went negative. The red lines at the end of the graph is the forecasted index towards the end of the month. The forecasted index is negative, possibly signaling a cold and stormy end to the month. This prediction has support from several other indexes and forecast models which try to bring in several storms and another Arctic blast by the end of the month. So enjoy the warm weather while it lasts, because it won't last long. Since this is the first video created for this blog, I would really appreciate some feedback on it. Let me know what you liked or didn't like about it so my future videos will be more enjoyable to watch. Thank you for taking the time to watch it. I hope you enjoyed it.